how's it going? I'm Marlene. Thanks for wandering by. So, I'm not really sure what this video is yet. You know, because I've titled it and put it up there. I thought that this would be maybe like the 5 things that I'm loving right now, but it's not. I think I like pigeonholed myself with that because there's not always 5 things that I'm loving. There are things, and there's a mood, and I think that's kind of like more what this video is going to be like. I'm following my moods, and I'm sharing like what the vibe is at the moment, which that makes me think of Meg at Rose Honey Ritual. So Meg does videos called At Present, and she also does vibe check. I don't know that she's done a vibe check in a long time, but like, I guess I'll have to ask Meg, but what's the difference? The vibe check is sort of like, what am I feeling right now? Like checking in with yourself to see what the vibe is. And At Present is just like this is definitely what is going on right now, or I don't know. But I know that there is a vibe. I know that there is a mood right now, and it's actually kind of dark. And I'm laughing because like, I go through these phases where I like watch and read, you know, like things with dark themes. And I don't mean horror, because like if you know me, I'm not really into horror. It's not like my thing. And I'm not like I don't know, like I've never was like, I was more emo than goth for sure in high school, but we didn't call it emo because I think I'm a little too old for that. I was more like, what did we call it? Alterna girl. Like, so I think there was like a time where it was called like progressive, to be like, I don't know. I'm a Gemini, okay, right? So my mood shift, my sense of identity is constantly shifting, and I've definitely, like, fashion-wise and like that kind of thing, I tried on lots of different lots of different aesthetics back in the day. And now I'm just like, I can't be bothered to like even really deal with like fashion and style. I'm not very good at it. My aesthetics come out like in other places, like this little place. I can do it, sort of. Anyway, so my mood, so the vibe check and the At Present and the things that I'm into right now, it's a mood for sure, and it's a bit of a dark mood. I did my reset magic. I'm still like, you know, dealing with this like burnout just in general, of like life in general. Middle age, perimenopause, emo, sad, sick girl sort of vibe all around. And I'm processing it, and I'm processing it through what I'm watching, what I'm reading, and the decks that I'm choosing. And so like when I talked about my burnout. Sorry, let me have a sip of coffee. I'm not going to edit this, so you're going to hear the coffee. I think I'm not going to edit this. Anyway, what the heck was I saying now that I stopped myself? Oh my God. In the burnout video, in the overwhelm, like, I guess I want to make clear that I'm not like completely burnout on tarot, and I'm definitely not overwhelmed by decks. Like, I think I wanted to make that clear, because I'm not overwhelmed by the amount of decks that I have, and I'm not burnt out on loving tarot. I was burnt out on like the specific practices that I was into and the way that I was going about them. So I think I just needed more of a change up, or I needed to just like follow my mood, and that's what I'm doing. So that's what this is about. And I guess I should show you some things to like that are complementing the mood. That's what I want to do. I want to show you the things that I've got going on around me that are like the vibe, my mood, and how I'm feeling. And they're like, you know, they're part of my processing, like, I don't know, some shit that I'm like thinking about and dealing with. And it's fun and funny, and but also dark. Okay, so here, let me put my coffee aside and I'll grab the first thing. I'm trying not to lay down things too heavy, because I keep hearing when I am going back to edit, like the clunkety sounds. Anyway, the nail polish that I'm currently wearing, I mean, I guess you can see it on me. I got this little set, but I only want to show you this one because I'll show you the whole set at another time. This is, can you see it? I'm putting it up to the camera better. It's from Lights Lacquer, and it's called Dark Academia. And it is, you know, this like purpley gray. It's so the vibe right now. And it's funny too, because I saw Tarot Geek did a tarot tag called #DarkAcademia, and I have it on my list. Hopefully I can try to get to it. Maybe by next month. We'll see. We'll see if if the mood fits for me still. But anyway, Dark Academia, yeah, like I know it's a thing right now, or has been a thing, like in terms of aesthetic, and I dig it. It gives me that like kind of gothic novel, kind of, you know, like we're heading into spooky season, so it's like, it's there. That's the vibe, Dark Academia. So speaking of which, I'll share with you what I'm reading. And I guess if it's Dark Academia, this is, oh, it's probably reflecting. So this is the novel that I'm currently reading right now. I'm more than halfway through with it. It's been around for a hot minute, and I've seen it on lots of different, like booktube places. Called Bunny, by Mona Awad. I'm not sure how to say her last name, or their last name. This is dark. It's also absurd. It's also, I guess, Dark Academia, because these are like these are graduate students, right? Or postgraduate. Are they? Anyway, no, it's graduate. They're graduate students, because they're writers, or the main character, and then the bunnies are all in a writing, like I think it's like an MFA program, like somewhere in some like fictional. Is it fictional or not? It's like an Ivy League school, right, in New England. Anyway, it's like Heathers, which I'm watching, by the way. That's another part of this vibe. It's like the movie Heathers with Winona Ryder and Christian Slater from the 80s. Check it out if you haven't. It's like Heathers meets an episode of Charmed, which it totally reminds me of, because of, you know, it reminds me of an episode of Charmed. I'm definitely not at the end yet, but it's like, it's weird. It's not like, like, for me, the horror aspect of this is kind of absurd, so it doesn't like freak me out. It's I don't know. I've been in the mood for this kind of weird fiction, and I've been loving and hating them. The books that I've been reading that fall into this genre, that have these like female protagonists, like I sort of understand them and I sort of hate them. This one I like better because she's not like super rich and privileged, but there's this sort of like Sylvia Plath, like apathy, depression sort of vibe. It's like emo girl, you know, but like, I don't know. It's also, I also can relate to that girl, but I also feel kind of like annoyed by that girl, just because I think it's like, oh, and I keep saying that girl. I know that's like a thing on the YouTubes. If you pay attention to like you know, trends in like the slang and language or whatever, and or the things that people are saying, that the kids say these days. I feel like I can say, because I'm old and whatever. I mean, I'm middle-aged, so I'm not like setting trends necessarily. I feel like that's for the young people to do. In any case, although maybe it's not, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, whatever. The idea here is that Bunny it's dark, it's weird, it's absurd. I can't wait to see what happens. I think you should check it out if any of that sounds like interesting to you. But basically it follows the main character is a graduate student who kind of is an outsider in her like cohort of her you know, graduate program are these girls that all call each other Bunny. And it's like Heathers, right? But like, you know, they do have actual real names, but they just all call each other Bunny. And it's like, oh, Bunny, I love you, Bunny. And they're like really sickly sweet, but really fake. And I don't know, there's, you know, and obviously there's something about them. And then the main character gets kind of caught up in some crazy stuff with that particular group. It's a little bit gruesome. It's got some magical elements in there, I think. It's neat. I mean, it's different, and it really reads to me, it very much reads to me like Heathers meets an episode of Charmed, which I find kind of delightful. So yeah, so that's the book. I'll show you another thing. So that's like, you know, following this whole like mood, this dark, is it dark academia mood or just dark mood? I also pulled out this old journal that's like a couple years old that I never like filled up, because this pink and black and what are these? I don't even know what flowers these are. Are they roses? Are they something else? Maybe Krista or Candy or Thea can tell me. You guys know flowers. Anyway, so that's the vibe. And I broke out a black pen, and the pages here, I won't open, I'm gonna open a blank page. The pages are this pale pink. I mean, this is definitely this like sad emo girl, dark kind of vibe, right? So yeah, so that's the journal, and oh, it's like that soft cover. I've not really been, I mean, I'm not really like journaling with like any kind of purpose or any kind of plan, because that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm just following the mood and letting the mood take me. Because, let me show you, because this is the vibe right now. So, Lenormand, that's the vibe right now. Or at least this one specifically, the Maléfique Lenormand. Sipping coffee again. I just don't want to edit. I just want to throw this whole thing together. That's the mood. That is definitely the mood, guys. Okay, so Maléfique Lenormand. So, I don't know Lenormand. I had set a plan for myself to learn Lenormand at some point during this year, and I hadn't done it yet, and I sort of threw all my plans out the window somewhere at the beginning of the year because I was on a different kick. And that's, you know, how I roll, I guess, or at least how things are right now. But Lisa Pepez is doing a Lenormand series, Learn Lenormand, and Logan of Larkin Legend did a Lenormand series that is still up on his channel for free. That's like just perfect little bites of learning Lenormand, which is perfect for a beginner, a newbie like me. And Lisa is, you know, starting her series. There's one video up so far. So yeah, I decided, okay, so this is the time. This is the time to do Lenormand. And I had this deck that was sent to me by a lovely friend. And this is the same creator as the Tarot Nuages. And I love the Tarot Nuages. This like art style right now, like would you look at these backs? Like this is the dark vibe right now. It's a little bit like I think it kind of goes kind of over where I like my dark vibe hits. I wish it were like more like creamier colors rather than white, but because it is this like stark white, it goes with a tarot deck that's the vibe right now as well. Like look at this fox, like these like kind of, I don't know, what do you, those the little edges of the teeth, like it's all kind of flowy. See, that's a good one. The rider, the horseman, woman. So yeah, clover, the cross. There's one card, no, there's two that are darker. The clouds. Look at this bear. That's intense, right? And then stars. That kind of jumps outside of the vibe, but I like it. It's dark, it's creepy. It's creepy, yeah, creepy. Dark and creepy. This is more, I don't know, this is more like kind of dark and goth than it is emo. Although I'm gonna keep saying emo as if that really was like what we said in high school, and it wasn't. That's like about 5 years younger than me, maybe. I'm thinking because my brother's 5 years younger than me, and like when he was in high school, definitely they were saying emo. Okay, so the deck that fits this vibe with the Malefique Lenormand. Oh, I should leave it out because I'm gonna show you what they look like side by side. But the deck that is fitting this vibe is the Barbara Walker Tarot. And I'm also reading the book. I'll put a picture up. The guidebook is not like the hard copy is out of print, but you can get an ebook or digital version of the guidebook that goes along with the Barbara Walker Tarot, which is, I think, kind of controversial. I feel like now that I read up just a little bit, like just a teeny tiny little bit about Barbara Walker. There are things I didn't know about her, like she wrote all these books about knitting. Like, did you guys know that about Barbara Walker? I'm sure many of you have. But Barbara Walker, well here, let me take out the deck while I'm talking. So the Barbara Walker is actually kind of a controversial figure, according to, you know, my sources that I just Googled, right, yesterday or the other day, a couple days ago. In any case, her books about religions, mythologies, like feminism and stuff are controversial because it's a bit of a, and her deck is like this too. It's a bit of a hodgepodge of different mythologies, different religions, different, I don't know, different deities and different systems, kind of like mixed, layered in together, like for goddess work. And I think the controversy that I read about, or the criticism, is that it's not like scholarly. So like her sources are questionable. Her like etymology, like, so she definitely talks about word origins, and the criticism is that she's making things up, or like kind of changing things around or twisting them to fit a specific narrative that and I don't know, I thought that was really kind of fascinating. I like that she's a bit controversial. I think it reminds me in a similar way, not that they are at all similar, in fact they're very like different, is Aleister Crowley. And again, I don't know like enough about either of these people, like, and their like life story to really speak with from a place of expertise, definitely not from a scholarly place. But in any case, let me just flip through more of the Barbara Walker Tarot. So as I'm talking, so that you have something like a little bit more, something a little bit more to look at. This is, by the way, the vintage copy of the Barbara Walker Tarot, which is pretty much the same size as the one that you can get in a tin. So don't feel like I thought I was going to get like a standard size tarot when I got the vintage copy, and I now regret, I mean, I shouldn't regret it, but I wish that I would have just gotten the tin because it would have saved me money. But in any case, that's what this is. So what was I saying? So Barbara Walker, Aleister Crowley, like I'm saying the comparison that I'm making about those two people is that they're controversial figures. And I think it's more well known that Crowley is a controversial figure, and I had to do like some digging to find out more about Barbara Walker. Oops, the power just went flickered. It doesn't affect my filming, I don't think. Okay, so the thing about Barbara Walker though is, and I think maybe Angela's Arian was similar in that because they're women, they're feminist, and there's like, oh, I'm sorry, there's, if you see like flickering, I don't know what's going on. It's not even raining. There's not even a storm or anything happening. So, I don't know. I think like maybe the criticism is because they're women. I don't know where the criticism necessarily is coming from, or if that criticism is even scholarly in and of itself. I did look up some of the like words that she was, I've read just a little bit of this, of the book, the guidebook that goes along with the Barbara Walker Tarot. And when I looked up the origin of the word that she was talking about, I think it was ludicrous. It was correct, like her usage of it was correct, or at least according to what I found. So I don't know, I haven't done like any kind of exhaustive thing there, but I just find it interesting. I think she's kind of dark. I think this deck is dark and moody, and I've been pulling my Lenormand, okay? Now that I've been going on and on about Barbara Walker, who I'm not sure if Barbara Walker's still around, right? Maybe not. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's terrible, Marlena. That's terrible. Anyway, what I've been doing is I've been following Logan at Larkin Legends advice, and Logan said to just pull 2 Lenormand cards a day and don't even think about it in the morning, and then at the end of the day reflect upon those cards. So I've been using this Lenormand deck. I've pulled a couple cards. I haven't been doing it every day. That's not happening. But I've been writing in the journal. I've been using that Labyrinthos website, plus also what Logan said in Logan's video. They have card meanings, brief card meanings. So I've been using that. I've been using the little guidebook that's in the Malefique Lenormand. And I've been pulling a couple of cards, and I've been writing it down, and then I've been reflecting on what those 2 cards in combination mean. I feel like I'm really casually about it right now. And then I have been pulling 1 Barbara Walker Tarot, because I guess I need to have tarot alongside other things, because I just do. So don't they go well together? They really do. These 2 decks are definitely a match. I do like, though, that they have all of the words on them, because I like that there's the Spanish, too. I enjoy when Spanish appears in tarot decks on tarot decks, because I speak Spanish. I speak Spanish okay. I'm not as fluent as I'd like to be, especially in the written. So King of Wands, Valraven. Do you see? Like, look at how cool these go together. So yeah, I think that the Malefique Lenormand, the Barbara Walker Tarot, I don't know. It's the vibe. The aesthetic here is this dark vibe. It's very moody, and it's doing the thing right now. It's definitely doing the thing. So along with that, like keeping that Barbara Walker theme, I also have, and I'm pretty sure this deck is out of print. I also have her other deck, her Oracle deck. Now I'm mixing in more systems. But, oh, this is another one of those like soft, comfy bags. This is the I Ching of the Goddess. And I think it's still, like, you can still find it for a decent price on eBay if you are really looking. Just like you could this vintage version. I don't know what prices are like right now. I haven't really been doing a lot of eBay shopping. I do have like saved searches, and that's always a good thing to have just, going in the background just in case. But anyway, the I Ching of the Goddess is Barbara Walker's I Ching deck. Maybe this one's even more controversial than her tarot, or there's another book, I can't remember the name of it, that I was reading about that she did, but she also wrote like all these knitting books, which is like, I had no idea. It's just like so crazy. Sorry, coffee. Okay, need the coffee because my throat is hurting. So anyway, I used this deck a lot in my I Ching study that I did last year. Was that last year or the year before last? Can't remember. And again, there's like quite a bit of like a hodgepodge of different mythologies, deities, goddess ideas, religions, faith systems, magic practices. It's kind of everywhere. So I'm not sure how folks that are more like purists than I am, because I'm, like, especially when it comes to a different like culture than mine, I don't know what I don't know. But I recognize that like there are folks that like know I Ching that might not like this deck, right? It does definitely veer from what I've read in other places, but Barbara Walker's, she's kind of like an outlier in my mind now, a little bit different, and I just always kind of, I don't know, I kind of like to figure out what they're about, and then, dismiss things that don't work for me, like I do with the Thoth, right? Like I do with the Thoth and Crowley, because it's really not, I don't know. It's really that, the Thoth to me is like a big hodgepodge of different mythologies and religions and mysticism and deity and stuff too. So yeah, anyway, this deck is again fitting my vibe, because I've got this whole like emo girl dark vibe going on. I'm laughing, but it's just like where my mood is, where my aesthetic is right now. So the deck that's meeting that to work with this I Ching of the Goddess is the Hermetic Tarot. And it's because I really, really want to, it's the titles, like the Hermetic titles are fitting the mood right now for sure. So let's do the Don Michelle way, because that's how you do. And yeah, don't you see? So I don't always read like this with the Oracle in the middle and the tarot on the side. I don't know, I layer, I throw things around, but for this makes sense. So like the Hermetic titles that appear on the bottom of the Hermetic tarot cards Lord, so they're so good. And the court cards and the majors are even better. But the Lord of Despair and Cruelty, the Lord of Prudence, and then we have, you know, the Barbara Walker I Ching of the Goddess card in the middle. Doesn't that fit this whole black and white vibe? Let me get to, yeah, so here we have the Moon, which is the ruler of flux and reflux, and the Ace of Swords, which is the lord of the root of the powers of air. It's like so over the top. This card is so over the top too. The Star, the daughter of the firmament, and the Lord of Strife with temptation, contact, sexual meeting, air over breath. That's a vibe for sure. I'm starting to lose my voice now. Water over water, abyss, water, danger, and the Lord of the winds and breezes, and the Queen of thrones of waters. Like, I don't even want to read, I've been looking at this Hermetic Tarot, and I've not even wanted to, like, think about it in my typical tarot way, but rather just read the titles and get that kind of, really, like, over the top, medieval, you know, kind of vibe from them. Or, see, I pulled the Last Judgment, the Eon, the Judgment card, the Spirit of the Primal Fire. So cool. This is such a cool card. This is such a cool deck. And actually, the little white book isn't too bad. It definitely explains some things. Not enough. Not enough for me as like a study. Although there's lots of things I recognize now, like the astrology and the Kabbalah. But this is weird. This is like giving me, it's all, I have this thing, I guess, about things being like a little bit absurdist, which is totally fine. Oh, there's another book that I'm reading now too, but I'll save that one because I might want to make like a whole separate video about that book. I'm teasing it right now, that book, but the High Priestess is called the Priestess of the Silver Star, the Lord of Material Gain, Innocence, the Unexpected. Okay, so I feel like I'm showing it more than I've even played with these two decks. But yeah, that's the Hermetic Tarot and the I Ching of the Goddess. Yeah, like it's just sort of fitting the vibe. And now I'm like, I distracted myself talking about the book. It's an audio book that I'm listening to right now, which was actually, I think it was written a long time ago. Maybe, I don't know when it was first published, but I think it was re-released in the 90s, and it's called I Who Have Never Known Men. I'll put the picture up of it right here, of the audiobook cover. And it's so funny, like next to talking about Barbara Walker, right, who is such a feminist, and there's a lot. There's actually stuff that with the Lenormand, it was really kind of making lots of sense because of that book. I want to talk more about it. I'm just teasing it right now because honestly, I definitely want to talk more about that book. I'll just give you the premise to kind of whet your palate to see if it's something that you might be interested in. The premise of I Who Have Never Known Men by, oh man, I can't remember the name of the author now, but they're a Belgian writer, so it's translated from French. It's translated from the French. It is about the main character is one of 40 women who knows, the main character knows no other life than living in a bunker. And they sort of, I don't even know what it's so hard to even explain the rules of this world. But she's lived her whole life in a bunker and has never known men. I feel like that should be intriguing enough. It's like a mystery upon a mystery upon a mystery about how did they get there? What are the rules of this world? What about the guards? What time period is it anyway? What is happening? What do they know? What don't they know? And there is also like, do they get out? I don't know. I want you to look it up if that sounds at all like intriguing to you. And then I'll talk more about it some other time. Anyway, that's it. That's my, oh wait, where's my, here's my dark academia nail polish. So like, that's the vibe check. That's the at present. That's the more than 5 things that I'm into right now. That's the mood. This is the mood of what's going on with me. I'm thinking about lots of things. I have reset, like there's reset going on because we're still moving from, maybe not once I post this, but we're waxing back into the full moon. And so it's been a thing for me, a shift from new moon to full moon, this particular cycle that I've been working with that. And this is what's happening. It's like sort of like a dark emo, goth, sad, weird, absurd, existential, bizarro, funny, and like that's the vibe right now that I'm feeling. Maybe you guys will like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I'm definitely just not even gonna edit that. Like, this is just like my full entire weirdness for you, following the mood. I hope you enjoyed this, and then I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.